channel. I hope you're all having a beautiful start to your day. I'm here today with yet again another Disney DIY crafts video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 Disney DIY crafts that are ridiculously easy to make and extremely inexpensive. These are all inspired by Pinterest. This is actually the 3rd Disney DIY crafts video that I've done on my channel, and I will link number 1 and number 2 in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. Also, if you're interested in checking out a really awesome Disney Mickey Ears Etsy site, I highly suggest checking out the Mouse Ears Boutique. They're the ones who created these beautiful floral Mickey ears, and I will link all of their social media platforms in the description below. If you have any other questions or concerns, just ask them in the comments below, and without further ado, we're gonna get right into this video. To make this Mickey Mouse EOS lip balm, all you're going to need is an EOS lip balm. It doesn't matter the color, you're just going to be painting over it. Open it up and take the side that has lip balm in it and take a pointy object. Be very, very careful with this. Stick it into the center and then push up and the lip balm should come right out. Again, be very careful with this. Take a lip balm and just put it in a little plastic baggie and set it off to the side for later. And then take some black paint and start squirting it all over both of the sides. I took a sponge paintbrush and just sponged it on. It did end up getting all over my fingers, but this is non-toxic paint and I just washed my hands off and it came right off. This next step is optional, but I added some glitter on top of the wet paint and then I just set it aside to dry. Again, you don't have to do this, but I think it added just a little something extra. Next, take some white foam and sketch out 2 large circles. I made mine rather large because I wanted it to be a little over-exaggerated, but make them whatever size you'd like. And then I'm just following the same exact process that I did with the EOS lip balm, taking some black paint and some glitter and putting it all over it. Then I'm setting everything aside, all of the pieces out to dry, and I let it dry for about 20 to 25 minutes. Once all the pieces are dry, you're going to want to add a layer of Mod Podge, especially if you're using glitter like myself. This is just going to seal all of that glitter in, and try to sponge the Mod Podge on and not swipe it down so that you're not ripping any of that glitter off, and then set it aside to dry for about another 20 to 25 minutes. Once everything is dry and the Mod Podge is showing up clear, take your top pot of the EOS lip balm, flip it over, take your actual lip balm, place it in there and kind of press it down a little bit, then take the bottom and basically all you're going to do is just push it together. The lip balm should be attached to the bottom side now. Final step to completing this Mickey EOS lip balm is to glue on the ears. I'm just taking some hot glue and I'm placing it on a flatter section of the ears and holding it in place for about 10 to 15 seconds, and I'm doing this on both of the sides. And there you have it, your very own customizable EOS lip balm. I think this came out really adorable, and I think this would be such a great favor to give out at a kids party. This would also be really fun to do with kids. Everything is non-toxic. This was super cheap to make and so stinking adorable. I am in love with the way this came out. For this next craft, all you're really going to need are some Disney maps and some tiles. I got my tiles for 16 cents at Home Depot. Open up your map and ask yourself, what do you want to see on your coaster? I, of course, want to see Cinderella's castle because I feel like it's my second home. So just sketch out what you want to see on your coaster and then place your coaster on top of it. Take a pen or a pencil or a writing utensil and just sketch all the way around it. Then take some scissors and cut the section out. For the 4 coasters that I am making, I tried to pick out iconic landmarks from each of the parks. So for Magic Kingdom, I did Cinderella's Castle. Animal Kingdom, I did the Tree of Life. Hollywood Studios, I did Tower of Terror. And for Epcot, I did Spaceship Earth. Next, take some Mod Podge, and please do not use as much as I used. Too much came flooding out of this jar. You're going to want to use about 1/5 of this amount. I actually used this amount of Mod Podge on all 4 of my coasters, and just spread it out evenly onto your tile. Then you're going to take your map piece and just place it right on top, and then use your fingers to kind of squeegee it on. You're basically trying to get rid of any air bubbles and make it nice and flat onto your tile coaster. Once you're done applying all of your map pieces to the tile coasters, just set it aside to dry for about 20 to 25 minutes. And the very final step for this craft is just to add another layer of Mod Podge on top. Is it Mod Podge or Mod Podge? I always get that confused. But you're just going to add another layer on top, making sure that you're going in the same exact direction. This Mod Podge is just adding as a protective layer and it's sealing everything in. This way, if you're using liquids on top and it spills, it will not ruin your map. And that's it, your very own Disney map coasters that are both absolutely beautiful to look at and super cheap. I think I did this entire DIY for under $1. And personally, there's nothing like having your coffee, tea, or hot chocolate on just a tiny little bit of the Disney property. Now on to my favorite craft of this entire video, the Princess Crown headband. All you're going to need is a piece of glitter foam, I found mine at Joann's Fabrics, and a skinny headband, also found at Joann's Fabrics. You're going to want to start off by taking your foam and cutting it the same length of your headband, and you're just going to hot glue that piece of foam right onto your headband. That way your headband and your crown will be the same color. If your foam rectangular piece is not long enough, don't be afraid to cut out another piece and just glue it on like I had to. You cannot even tell when it's all glued together. Now you just want to take your rectangular piece of glitter foam, flip it over, and start sketching out what you want your crown to look like. It's essentially just making triangles on top of a rectangular base. I had to play around with this a lot. The original one that I'm making that you're seeing right here was a little too large and a little too wide for me. So like I said, I played around with this a lot. I ended up cutting it about a half of the way in length and about 2/3 of the way in width, and I ended up with just 3 large pointy triangles, as you'll see in this next clip. To secure your crown, just take the 2 edge pieces and hot glue them together. I held them in place for about 10 to 15 seconds until it got hard, and then I took a strip of rectangular foam. I just made a tiny, skinny little strip, and I put it on top to hide all that excess glue. And the very last step is just to take your crown, place it on top of your headband, ask yourself where you want your crown to lay. I put mine directly in the center, and hot glue your crown right down onto your headband. This is what the final product looks like. I am so obsessed with this. I cannot wait to wear it in Walt Disney World, especially when I go to Magic Kingdom and meet all of the princesses. Yes, I am 28 going on 12, but I don't even care. I am so in love with the way this came out. And the best part is I think it was under $3 to make. I want to say the foam piece was about $1 and the headband was about $2. You really cannot go wrong with that. To make this flubber soap inspired by Roger Williams' famous movie, also inspired by Karina Garcia's channel, you are going to take some soap. It doesn't matter if it's dish detergent soap, hand soap, shampoo, any kind of soap, and then you're going to add some soap colorant to it. I found this at Michael's and it was very inexpensive. I'm putting a couple of drops of blue and a couple of drops of yellow in it and mixing it all together to get that really green flubber-like color. Next, you want to take some cornstarch and you want to mix some in. Again, there are no exact measurements, but I used about a cup to start with and then added a little bit more in. The whole point of this is that you're going to mix it together until it doesn't stick to your fingers. You can actually press your fingers into it and it won't stick to your fingers. So I started off with a cup, I added it in gradually, and then I added just a little bit more later on. Just keep mixing it, mixing it, mixing it until you get a really thick flubber-like consistency. One of the final steps is to add olive oil into the mixture. This is because cornstarch can be very drying, so the olive oil is just going to take away some of that dryness. And the final step is to take your flubber soap, put it on a flat surface, and use some cornstarch and knead it all together. And there you have it, your very own flubber soap. This was so much fun to play with. Even if you're not going to use this for soap, I highly suggest making this with some kids. It's a really fun experiment to make. You can use it just like Play-Doh. I actually used it as soap, as you'll see in the next clip, but I really just had a great time playing around with this, and I think kids would really, really enjoy this as well. And as promised, here's a clip showing that the flubber soap actually does work. I took a little piece of the flubber soap, ran it under some water, and rubbed my hands together, and as you can tell, it is foaming right on up. It is getting very sudsy. It smelled amazing. I used the green apple hand soap, and it smelled just like green apple. This was so much fun to make. If I can make one suggestion, when you are done using this, try to put it in an airtight container because, like I said, the cornstarch is very drying, and this will dry out very, very fast if you do not cover it up. And for this last craft, you're going to start off with a flannel. Put this down on a flat surface. Make sure there's some cardboard underneath it because when you're painting, the paint will go right through your flannel. Then you're just going to take whatever saying you want. I wanted mine to say Hakuna Matata. You can print this out, but I just sketched mine out. Then take an X-Acto knife and put it on top of a cutting board. And what you're going to do is just cut out the outline of your word. Be very, very careful with this. X-Acto knives are extremely sharp. Once your entire word is cut out, very, and I mean very gently, poke out the word so that you're left with just the outline. If part of your word falls off like mine did, I ended up cutting right through the T, and the A. Don't worry about it, just put it back together and grab some tape. Tape the words together. I did 2 little tiny pieces of tape, and after I paint on it later and I take the tape off, I'm just going to have to repaint that little section manually. And now here comes the fun part. You're going to sponge on your fabric paint. I found my fabric paint again at Joann's Fabrics, and you're going to just sponge on your fabric paint using a sponge paintbrush, and you're just going to basically take your outline word, place it where you want it to be on the back of your flannel, and again, just sponge it on. You're not going to paint this on because it will end up ruining your outline. You're just going to take some paint and gradually sponge on each of the letters. Make sure to tightly hold down the outline as you are sponging on your letters. This is just going to decrease the chance that you are going to go through your outline, and that is going to stay nice and tight. Once you sponge on fabric paint over your entire outline, you get to have the big reveal. Pull your page out and you should have a beautiful representation of the word that you outlined. Before moving on to the next words, make sure that your first word is dried completely, and if you're impatient like myself, you can always speed this process up by using a blow dryer. Now all that's left to do is complete this process with all of your remaining words, and as you can tell, I taped on the T, and the A, so all I need to do now is manually go in with my sponge brush and very gently and very carefully sponge on the rest of the T and the rest of the other T. Once all of the words are completely dried, there you go. You have your very own customizable flannel with any saying that you could possibly think of. I think this came out absolutely amazing, and this would be really fun to either make with your friends or to give as a gift. And that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. I love you guys seriously to the moon and back. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye guys!